So I want to start today's video off with a very Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates it and everything. This video will probably go up on Christmas considering everything else I've been working on. So anyways, on to the topic of this video. Today I want to talk about why Call of Duty should become a free-to-play game. And I know this already sounds weird because I don't think any of us really can fathom the idea of Call of Duty coming out every year and being free because we've always paid for COD games. But honestly, it makes sense pretty much any way that you look at it. When it comes to Activision making money, they're obviously still going to make a shit ton of money on the Call of Duty franchise if they just make the game free to play. Players obviously won't have to just straight up pay for the game. I think we'd all be able to enjoy that for whatever I guess that's worth to some of us, and it would bring a lot of new people and stuff into the game, of course. So I mean, there's a lot of good things really to making the game free to play. So as we all know, Call of Duty is an every year $60 game. So everyone who's a fan of the franchise pretty much every single year either gives out $60 or even will pay more for that if they want to get like season passes or special editions of the game. And I think it's pretty fair for us all to say that we've noticed a lot of shifts really in Call of Duty compared to like I guess the way that they approach things. And it looks like especially with like the Contraband stream and stuff that they're kind of going more towards that I guess free-to-play system anyways when it comes to how they implement their microtransactions and stuff. Pretty much because of Fortnite, let's be honest. That's really the only reason they're doing what they're doing, but even then like it just makes more sense for COD to really go free-to-play. So I'm gonna show you guys a graph that came out I think yesterday actually from I think it's the actual the Call of Duty subreddit. I saw it on Charlie Intel. Hopefully I do remember to link this this article down below so you can see it for yourself. This is probably be a few days ago by the time this video goes up, but alright, so looking on the screen you will see the number of players I guess for every COD title on the PS4. This information was actually gathered using information from the PS4 My Life campaign. I guess they kind of they leaked the player counts by accident based on how many people had earned trophies and stuff. Some math wizards and shit and whatnot did all the work, I guess. I didn't do it, obviously, so this is pretty much the most current, I guess, graph that shows the game sales or players, I guess, on the PlayStation 4 for all the Call of Duty titles. So, really quickly, I want to go ahead and cover a little bit of this. Like Ghosts, you'll see it has 13.2 million players. That's actually pretty low considering this was the first year the PS4 had come out. Most of us were still playing on like the PS3 or the Xbox 360. Like myself, I didn't play Ghosts on the PS4 ever, I don't think, actually. I played what I did of it on the PS3. And we don't know if this is actually people who played the game or actually installed it. But honestly, if you install a game, you're probably going to play it. I wouldn't see why you would buy a $60 game just to never play it every single year, so yeah, I mean, that one doesn't make too much sense, but then you look at Black Ops 3, and this one looks insane, right? 54.7 million people, okay? That's a pretty good number. This is obviously the best on the graph, and then if you compared it to the all-time sales, this is almost double the best-selling game of all time, which would be Modern Warfare 3. And the reason that this number is so high, I don't know if you guys remember, but this summer, Black Ops 3 was free to play for PlayStation Plus users, which there is, God knows how many, tens of millions of PS Plus members. And for that whole month, you got this game for free, so this number is a bit artificially inflated, obviously, because if it wasn't free to play, this number would still be higher than all the rest of these, considering Black Ops 3 is actually no, let me correct that, I'm wrong. World War II would be the best-selling Call of Duty on this list, because according to another article, the life to date through September 2018 US Top 10 Games, in the top 10 here on PS4. Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 1, then Call of Duty World War II, then Black Ops 3, then Infinite Warfare, and then Advanced Warfare is number 9. So Black Ops 3 would still be extremely high, but this seems a little bit off considering all this other information. You would think, of course, now looking back at this graph, I think Black Ops 4 would be in between Advanced Warfare and World War II, because it sold more than Advanced Warfare, obviously, but it did not sell more than World War II. I would say, realistically, Black Ops 3 probably sold like 23 million, and then obviously Infinite Warfare and all of them did worse. Anyways, let's get back to the point, really. Okay, so when you look at this graph here, okay, and you see Black Ops 3 is so ridiculously higher than the rest of these games, it shows obviously that this was very important for Black Ops 3. I mean, and this obviously wasn't even like when the game first came out. If Black Ops 3 had been free to play from launch, I mean, we could have been talking like hundreds of millions of downloads because this was an extremely popular game. It's one of the top 3 best-selling games on PS4, and it only really became free for literally just 1 month. and that was also like 3 years after the game even came out, after pretty much all the COD fans had already bought it. So this number realistically could have been much higher if it came out at launch. Now, can you imagine how well all these CODs would have done if they had gone free to play? So of course, like with Black Ops 4, these numbers look extremely low, right? Well, then again, of course, this game is only a couple months old, so it's gonna be low anyways. This, of course, doesn't even consider like the Christmas noobs and shit. By the way, they're all in Black Ops 4 already, man. I was playing them last night, but Black Ops 4's numbers are low just because of how new the game is, so that might even become the best-selling game. Honestly, I expect it to on the PS4 for Call of Duty. If these games had been free to play, man, who knows? Like, especially with like all the cosmetics and stuff, that's always been kind of, I guess, really a big sticking point in the COD community, like supply drops. Everyone hated supply drops for the most part, except obviously some people didn't because they made a shit ton of money off of them. I think one year they made like $3 billion just off of supply drops and Call of Duty microtransactions alone, which is insane. To make $3 billion off that shit in 1 year off of microtransactions, that's insane amounts of money. And even when you look at it, like Fortnite itself only has like, well, only, of course, that's funny, but Fortnite has like 200 million registered downloaded users, and Black Ops 3 reached almost 55 million by actually selling the game for $60, and on top of that, releasing it for a month free on one console. I think Call of Duty on a yearly basis could probably reach those kinds of Fortnite numbers if they just made the game free to play. And Fortnite has just proven to everybody that you can make a free to play game and still make just shit tons of money off of it. So, I mean, the stats really back it up. Like, when you look at the downloads, it backs up the fact that free-to-play obviously is a huge beneficiary, really, to the Call of Duty franchise. I don't think you can really go wrong and upset the community by making it a free-to-play game, considering, you know, we don't have to pay for the game. And I don't know about you, but when it comes down to it, okay, I'm much more fine with giving microtransactions a chance in games that are free to play. Like in Fortnite, I don't really care about microtransactions. I've bought plenty of them. But when it comes down to like Call of Duty and stuff, I'm not buying a $15 weapon skin or camo or fucking like an outfit for a specialist or something in a game that cost me $60. Now, if you're gonna give me an entire free game, like if you give us a Call of Duty every year completely free, I don't mind buying that shit, because at that point, like, I'm giving you my money in return for a free product. Like, I'm giving you money for some cosmetics in a free-to-play game. I don't mind doing that, and I don't think many people would. So the numbers back it up, and I guess logic really backs it up. I mean, I don't know. Tell me down below, would you mind if Call of Duty went free to play? Because honestly, I know tons of people who don't play COD, or they don't play it anymore, who used to play it, and I can guarantee you, if the game went free to play, they would be back playing it. I mean, honestly, if you made it free to play, like, that takes completely away all the risk in buying a COD, because realistically, Call of Duty is a risky game to buy. I mean, you can go from like well, I guess I think it's a bad title like Ghosts to an okay title like Advanced Warfare. I think it got too much hate, honestly. It wasn't really that terrible of a game. And then you have a pretty decent title like Black Ops 3, and then you have a shitstorm like Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. And of course, you have Modern Warfare Remastered, which I still think was fucking awesome, okay? And it sells really bad. And then World War II was just a mixed pot because it sucked at the beginning, but was really good by time, you know, the game's life cycle is pretty much over with, and it sells really well. And then Black Ops 4 is a great game with a lot of bugs, glitches, and overall problems with it, you know? So it's really just a big risk. And if you take that $60 price tag off, people are going to be more open, I guess, to accepting that risk of it being a bad game. And since the games come out every year, it's not like you have to wait forever for them to really kind of get their shit back and maybe have another good title. So it's not really going to hurt anyone. Like, it seems like if you make this choice, really, you're making your game more accessible, which would therefore grow the player counts, which would in turn make you more money because more people means more microtransactions are likely to be sold. And even at that point, man, like, I don't agree with like the Black Ops Pass in this game. I don't think it's really a good deal, and especially with the first 2 maps that came out, I think it's been a total ripoff at this point. But you know, if you have a free-to-play game, I don't mind buying map packs. And I think that once again, just like the microtransactions, is another thing that other people would, I guess, really open up to. Like, you gave me pretty much the whole game for free. Like, if you give us a campaign, a zombie/special ops or something for free, and then of course multiplayer, okay? You sell me map packs all you want. You sell me zombies maps, okay? You sell me microtransactions. And people who are against this, think of it this way, okay? Because you're fine with paying $60 for a game and then want to spend $0 on all these add-ons and stuff afterwards, right? So you realistically only want to spend like $60 and then get all this content, right? Well, what if I told you that you could spend $0, get pretty much all this content, and then spend like $60 on microtransactions, and you could get like new maps or something, or you could get like camos or something? Because realistically, any way you really look at it, you're gonna have to spend money on the game. But if it's free to play, like the guaranteed amount of money that you have to spend is virtually non-existent, because they're not gonna ever make you buy microtransactions. That would be weird, and at that point, people would be pissed. But if you have to actually buy the title, you guaranteed have to give them money, you know? It really seems kind of like a win-win-win-win-win. Like, Call of Duty will have more players, which means that the matchmaking is better in the game, which makes the game better, okay? And if the game's better and has more players, that means Activision can make more money off microtransactions. It means the community will hopefully be a little bit more receptive to microtransactions and stuff. If it will more receptive, if you're the business, I mean, you want people to be receptive. And historically, the COD community is not too receptive, really, of this whole thing. You constantly still have your titles up there in the top games played every year. Black Ops and all these other franchises are always selling really good. So, I mean, just think about it, okay? I want you guys to think about it. I know a lot of you are going to be staunchly against it, and I understand, you know, we all have different opinions and whatnot, but just think about it like this. What if Infinity Ward, when they come to reveal the game, comes out and they say, Modern Warfare 4, you get the campaign, because they already said campaign not being in Black Ops 4 was a one-off thing. They say, you get campaign, you get the multiplayer, and you get special ops, all for free to play game. So you get that $60 worth of content for free, and they say, on top of that, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered will be an add-on to the game, full game, multiplayer and everything, for let's say $30, because it's obviously got multiplayer campaign and special ops in it too. And I guarantee they're not going to sell it for like 20. They probably would sell it at 40 or 50, honestly, but personally, I would pay that for MW2 because it's one of my favorite games of all time. But can you imagine that? Like, how awesome that would be to hear? Like, you get the new game completely free, and then you get Modern Warfare 2 Remastered for like $30, and that also fixes another massive issue that we saw with Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered, because when you sold Infinite Warfare for $60 and you sold Modern Warfare Remastered initially as a bundle in the pre-order, you really divided your player base. You really had that problem because people didn't like Infinite Warfare. It's one of the most disliked video games of all time, really. The trailer itself was like the second most disliked video of all time on YouTube, until obviously YouTube Rewind comes through and ruins shit. But like me, I never hardly played much Infinite Warfare. Like, I gave it some chance, I guess, and I didn't enjoy it, really. I didn't like the setting of it and stuff. But I played a lot of Modern Warfare Remastered. But if you have Modern Warfare 4 come out for free, you don't have to have people giving that risk factor of that $60 up for a game they might not like. So you're going to automatically inflate the player count on that naturally by maybe even like tenfold. And you're still going to have the devoted, loving Call of Duty fans buying MW2 Remastered. And so not only are you going to be pouring in money from Modern Warfare 4, you're also going to be making a shit ton of money on this basically 10-year-old game that the fan base loves, okay? And you're not going to have to worry about the player counts on either game, because plenty of people will buy Modern Warfare 2 Remastered and play it pretty much year-round, and you're automatically going to have just plenty more players playing Modern Warfare 4. Pretty much any way you really chalk this up, it seems like it's going to be a massive win for the Call of Duty franchise. Anyways, that's all I have to say, guys. Let me know what you think, of course, down below. Until my next video, guys, thank you for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here, follow me on Twitter at @SubToOptimus, join the Discord down below. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, arguing for Call of Duty to go free to play, and signing out.